The Ehrentemple, honor temples, which was built by the Nazis for their martyrs, was destroyed by the United States forces in 1947 by demolition charges, with remnants later cleared, leaving only foundation bases and a small plaque, while the original street memorial at the Feldherrenhalle was spontaneously dismantled by locals in June 1945. Its metal melted down, and today, only plaques commemorate the fallen policemen. Hello, and welcome again to the Global Cultural Drift Podcast. Geopolitical Queen here, with today's episode on how one of the most infamous buildings in Munich, the Beer Hall Putsch Memorial at the Feldherrenhalle, was captured intact and destroyed by the U.S. Army in 1945. Built by the Nazis in Odeonsplatz, Munich, to house the remains of the 16 Nazis killed in the 1923 putsch, requiring passers-by to salute, the Nazis also constructed a large public monument attached to the famous Feldherrenhalle, or Field Marshal's Hall, in the Audienzplatz in central Munich, close to where Hitler and his supporters' march in 1923 were stopped by gunfire from the Munich police. When Germany didn't yet exist as a unified nation, Munich was the capital of the Kingdom of Bavaria. The monumental building was constructed to honor two famous Bavarian field marshals and the wider Royal Bavarian Army in two wars, namely, the 30-Year War and the Napoleonic War after the unification of Germany in 1871. Designed by Nazi court architect Paul Ludwig Truss, it was put up on the 10th anniversary of the Putsch in 1933 and consisted of a large rectangular bronze plate that listed the names of all 16 Nazis who died, surmounted by a bronze eagle and wreathed swastika. The back of the memorial, facing into the Feldherrenhalle, was inscribed, quote, "And yet you triumphed," end quote, taken from a Hitler speech about the Putsch. Bavaria became one of several kingdoms making up the nation, and the Feldherrenhalle remained a focal point for Bavarian military remembrance that was until the Nazis decided to hijack the monument for their own purposes, adding a large memorial to their fallen from the Beer Hall Putsch. The Nazis converted the existing Feldherrenhalle into a memorial for the Putsch victims, creating a plaque listing their names and guarding it with SS sentries. In June 1945, locals spontaneously smashed the Nazi memorial eagle and dragged down the structure, melting the metal for repairs. The site now features plaques commemorating the 4 policemen killed by the Nazis, with a nearby alley, Schurker's Alley, serving as a subtle memorial to those who avoided the Nazi salute. It was permanently bedecked in floral wreaths with swastika streamers and guarded 24 hours a day by a pair of sentries from the SS. This monument was not very popular among the local citizenry. As anyone passing by, it was required to give the Nazi salute. In order to avoid this, many used a small alleyway to bypass the east side of the Feldherrenhalle and the watchful SS. Interestingly, directly beneath the Nazi memorial and affixed to the east wall of the Feldherrenhalle was a plaque honoring the 4 Munich policemen who were killed by the Nazis during the Putsch. They are now remembered by a new plaque inside the Feldherrenhalle itself. So what became of this most contentious sub-memorials? Well, the Nazi monument survived the heavy Allied bombing raids on Munich and the ground fighting that resulted in the city's capture by the U.S. Army in April 1945. The monument remained in place. The front of the Feldherrenhalle was defaced by a graffito, which read, "Concentration Camp, Stachau-Felden, Buchenwald. I am ashamed that I am a German." On the 3rd of June, 1945, locals apparently spontaneously smashed the monument to pieces. It was dragged down from its pedestal into the street and broken up. The broken memorial with the Nazi eagle torn off the top, with the smashed eagle hung from one of the hooks that originally held large Nazi memorial wreaths. The memorial was then taken away and melted down, and the metal used to help restore the bomb-damaged Munich residences and the former royal palace of the Bavarian monarchs. On January 9, 1947, the United States forces finally blew up the upper structures, recycling parts for other uses, with the bases remaining today. The site is now a quiet spot, with remnants of the foundations, spared further development due to rare vegetation, marked by a plaque explaining their history. No parts of this memorial exist today, all of it having been destroyed. So here you have it, folks. If you enjoyed listening to the story of how the Feldherrenhalle was spontaneously dismantled by locals in June 1945, then kindly leave your thoughts in the comments section below, and thanks for tuning in. I will be back with the next broadcast. Good day.